It was a beautiful and warm summer morning in the tiny forest. The yellow flowers were opening their petals to drink the warm sunlight. Narrator. Small green leaves were dancing in the soft summer wind. It was a perfect day for playing outside near the sparkling blue river. Roro the white bunny was sitting on a big flat rock. He was 2 months old, chubby, with fur like a soft cloud. Roro was a very thoughtful rabbit, watching the fluffy white clouds. The clouds moved slowly across the blue sky. Next to the river, Dodo the yellow duckling was splashing in the cool water.
Quack, quack, quack! Look at me, Roro. I am swimming very fast today. I am the fastest duck. You are very fast, Dodo, but do not swim too far. The water is deep in the middle of the river.
On the soft green grass, Kiki the kitten was rolling around. Kiki was a chubby kitten, very curious about everything. She was trying to catch a small yellow butterfly. But the butterfly was too fast. Kiki rolled over and sighed. Summer is so nice, but my gray fur is making me feel like a walking blanket. Just then, the bushes near the river began to shake.
What's that? It's moving. Beep.
Out came a very chubby and cute purple toad. It was Gogo. He walked slowly because his belly was so big and round.
Hello, friends. It is a very hot day. I walked from the muddy pond to see you all. It took a long time.
Hello, Gogo. Come swim with me. The water is very cool.
It looks very cold.
No thank you, Dodo. The river water is moving too fast for me.
Gogo _001. I like to sit in the wet mud. I will sit here with Kiki. Behind Gogo, there was another small sound.
It was Kiki the baby quail. She was round like a small cotton ball. She waddled just like Dodo, but she was even smaller.
Huh?
Hello, everyone. I followed Gogo here.
He walks very slowly, so it was easy to follow him.
Meow.
Everyone laughed. They loved their new friends.
Look at this yummy treat. Delicious. I love this drink. So tired. Peep, 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 peep.
Dodo loved green river weeds. Roro loved crunchy sweet carrots. Kiki loved fresh milk, Gogo liked small bugs, and Qiqi loved tiny seeds. But suddenly, a gust of wind arrived.
Suddenly, the wind started to blow harder.
The green leaves on the tall trees started to shake loudly.
The warm summer air became very cool. It's cold, Roro. We need to find shelter. Yes, hurry. Beep, beep.
The fluffy white clouds were gone. Big, dark
gray clouds covered the sun.
Oh no! Look at the sky, friends! Those are big storm clouds.
A summer thunderstorm is coming very soon. Waddled out.
That's it! A thunderstorm? That means there will be loud thunder and bright lightning. It will rain very hard. We need to tell everyone in the tiny forest. You are right, Dodo. We must warn them to go home and be safe. The other animals are playing. They do not know about the big storm.
I will tell them. I will use my loud voice to warn the whole forest.
Danger! Storm is coming! But Dodo's voice was very small. Even the wind was louder than his voice. Quack, quack. Did you hear anything, friends?
I only hear the wind blowing.
Oh, my voice is too small. I am just a small duck. My quack cannot reach the other side of the river. How can I warn them? I can try, Kiki the baby quail said. She puffed out her little round chest. Beep, beep. Storm is coming. Beep, beep, beep.
But Kiki's voice was even smaller. It was like a tiny whisper in the wind.
That is very brave, Qiqi. But your voice is also too small. Look, up there.
The big trees block the sound, and the wind takes it away.
You are right, Roro.
Gogo took a very big breath. His purple belly got bigger and bigger. Ribbit! Danger! But it sounded like a small bubble popping in the mud.
Roro, you are very thoughtful. You always have a good idea. Roro sat on his rock and thought very hard. He scratched his soft ear. He scratched his soft ear. He looked at the fast river. He looked at the tall trees.
Then he looked at a big pile of empty seashells near the sand. The wind blew through the shells. Clink, clank, clink, they hit each other. It worked!
Roro smiled big and wide. His blue eyes sparkled. He had an idea.
I have an idea, my friends. We do not need big voices.
Tell us, Roro. Purr, beep. We can use science to make a very loud noise. What kind noise, Roro? What kind of science, Roro?
If we hang these hard shells up high, the strong wind will blow them. They will hit each other. It will be a giant wind chime alarm system.
Yes.
Meow.
A wind chime. That is a brilliant idea, Roro. The loud clinking sound will echo through the forest. Everyone will hear it.
But how do we make a wind chime?
We need to tie the shells together.
We do not have any string. Beep, beep. Do not worry. I know where to find strong green vines. I see them all the time when I look for seeds in the bushes. I can show you. Let us work together bravely. The storm is getting closer.
Okay, Roro.
Dodo and Kiki, you collect the biggest and hardest seashells from the sand.
Peep. Okay. Purr.
Gogo and Kiki, you find the strongest vines.
Croak.
Beep. I will find a good sturdy stick to hold everything together. We must build the wind chime alarm system before the rain starts.
Peep. Purr. Croak.
Hooray! Hooray! We are gonna save the forest. Let us go to work. The 5 little friends split up. They had a big job to do. The dark gray clouds were getting bigger and lower. The storm was angry. The tall green trees were dancing wildly in the fast wind. Whoosh!
Dodo and Kiki ran to the edge of the river. They had to be fast. Look at all these shells, Kiki. Wow. He picked up a big white shell in his bill. It was very heavy and hard. This will make a very loud noise.
But his yellow wings were very small and slippery. Dodo slipped on the mud and fell on his chubby bottom.
Oh no! My beautiful yellow feathers are all dirty! Oh dear, you are covered in...
Narrator. Kiki laughed a soft, purring laugh at her muddy friend. Do not worry, Dodo. The heavy rain will wash you clean very soon.
Let me help you carry the shells. I can use my fluffy paws. Kiki picked up the shells carefully. She did not like getting her paws wet.
In the thick bushes, Gogo and Kiki were looking for strong vines.
Look up there, Gogo. I see the green vines.
Oh, the vines? Show me.
Thick, green vines were wrapped tightly around the branches. How will we reach them? It's too high.
Wait, I have an idea.
Oh dear. They are too high. My arms are very short.
Do not worry, Gogo. I will fly up and untie them for you. Thank you, Kiki.
Kiki flew up. She used her tiny beak to pull the green knot. The vine comes loose and starts to fall. The vine fell down, and Gogo caught it with his hands.
1, 2, 3, pull! This vine is very strong. Suddenly, the vine came loose. Gogo fell backward into the soft dirt. I got the vine, Kiki. We did a good job together.
Meanwhile, Roro was hopping near the giant oak tree. He was looking for a stick.
Aha! This brown branch is perfect. It is long and sturdy.
Roro tested the stick. He pushed it hard, but it did not break.
This stick will hold all our heavy seashells perfectly. Roro put the stick on his shoulder and hopped back to the big flat rock. Dodo and Kiki ran back to the rock with a big pile of clean white shells.
Look, Roro. The rain washed my beautiful yellow feathers completely clean.
Then, Gogo and Kiki arrived with 3 long, strong green vines.
They had everything they needed. A stick, shells, and strong vines. The storm is almost here. We must build the wind chime now.
Roro worked very fast. He was a very smart and thoughtful rabbit.
He tied a very tight knot around the middle of the long brown stick.
This main string will hang the stick from the giant oak tree.
Oh, that's smart, Roro.
Perfect! Now we can do it! Here is the first big shell, Roro. It is very hard and heavy.
Thank you, Kiki. That's excellent work.
Roro took another vine and tied it tightly to the white shell. He tied the shell to the left side of the long brown stick.
It swings perfectly in the wind. We need more shells to make a loud noise. I have 2 more shells ready for you, Roro. Let us hurry. Thank you, Dodo.
Roro used his fast, fluffy paws to tie the shells to the right side. Now there were 3 heavy white shells hanging from the sturdy stick.
A strong wind blew. The 3 shells hit each other very hard. Wow, that was very loud. It hurts my toad ears.
It works! The science works! The sound is very loud and sharp.
But we need it to be louder. Hand me the rest of the shells, quickly.
Kiki used her tiny beak to fly the green vines over to Roro. Roro tied the last 3 shells to the middle of the stick. The giant seashell wind chime alarm system was finally finished.
It is finished. But it is very, very heavy.
Roro looked up at the giant oak tree. The chime had to hang very high. I cannot climb that high tree holding this heavy stick. My legs are too short.
I am strong. Let me try to carry it up the tree. But Dodo could not even lift it 1 inch. It was too heavy for a duckling.
I can lift it. But I cannot jump up the tall tree.
They built the perfect alarm, but it was too heavy to carry up the giant tree.
We're stuck.
Do not give up, Kiki. We are a team. We will find a way. Roro looked around the giant oak tree again. He looked at the thick branches. Then he looked at the long green vine hanging from the middle of the stick.
I know how to get it up there.
We will use a pulley system. You'll use a pulley system. A pulley system? Is that more science, Roro?
Yes, Dodo. We throw this long string over that high branch.
Then we pull the string down. The chime will go up.
The chime is right there. Oh. But Roro, how do we get the string over that high branch?
I can do it. I can fly up there with the string.
Roro gave the end of the long green vine to tiny Kiki. The wet vine was very heavy, but Qiqi was very brave.
Here I go. Wish me luck, friends.
The terrible wind pushed her backward. But she did not stop. You can do it, Kiki! Fly higher! Be brave! Finally, the brave little bird reached the high, thick branch. She dropped the heavy green vine over the wood.
I caught it! Great job, Kiki! Come down and be safe! Everyone, grab the string! We must pull together!
Chubby Gogo was at the back. He was heavy and strong.
Ready, team? 1, 2, 2, 3! Pull out!
They all pulled backward as hard as they could.
Slowly, the giant heavy wind chime lifted off the wet rock. Let's do it!
Quack! Quack!
The mud is very slippery. Hold tight.
The wind pushed the heavy shells, but the friends kept pulling.
We are almost there.
The giant chime went higher and higher up the giant tree.
Stop pulling. Hold the string very steady, friends. Roro saw a big, strong tree root sticking out of the mud.
Oh! I need to tie this string around that big root. Do not let go. Hurry, Roro. It is too heavy.
Roro wrapped the green vine around the root and tied a very tight knot.
It is tied. You can let go now, friends. The friends let go of the string and fell into the mud. They were very tired.
But they did it. The giant wind chime was hanging high in the tree.
Suddenly, the dangerous summer storm hit the forest with full power. The violent wind pushed the heavy white shells very hard.
Clink! Clink! Claw!
The sound was incredibly loud. It echoed across the entire tiny forest.
The alarm is ringing. Get under the rock quickly. The rain is too heavy. We need to hide.
The little friends crawled under the big flat rock to hide from the rain. They were safe and dry, huddled closely together in the dark. They listened to their giant wind chime ringing loudly in the wind.
Oh, I hear it. Yes.
It's so pretty.
I like the sound.
Deep in the forest, the other animals heard the loud alarm. They knew it was a warning. They ran to their homes to be safe.
The spotted deer heard the loud shells. They hid inside the thick bushes.
The wise old owl heard the sound. He nodded his head. He knew someone was helping.
The storm raged for hours. The wind blew and the rain poured.
The 5 brave friends slept safely under the big flat rock. After a few hours, the loud thunder stopped. The dark clouds moved away. The warm summer sun came out again, shining brightly. A beautiful, colorful rainbow appeared in the blue sky.
Wake up, friends. I think the scary storm is over.
The 5 friends crawled out from under the rock. They stretched their arms.
The air smelled fresh and clean. The tiny forest was safe.
Roro looked up at the tall oak tree. The giant wind chime was still there.
The strong green vines held the heavy white shells perfectly safe.
The 5 friends looked at each other. They were very muddy, but very happy. You were right, Roro. We did not need big voices to be loud. My voice is small, but our friendship is very, very big.
Soon, many animals started to come out of their safe hiding homes. The brown squirrel family came out. They walked slowly to the river bank. The spotted deer walked out of the tall grass. They were completely safe. Soon, a big crowd of animals gathered around the big flat rock. They all looked up at the giant seashell wind chime hanging in the tree.
Ooh, wow.
Then, the wise old owl flew down from the sky. He landed on a low branch.
All the animals became very quiet. They waited for the wise owl to speak.
Hoot! Thank you, brave little ones. You saved the whole tiny forest today.
We all heard your loud seashell alarm before the dangerous storm hit.
Because of your loud alarm, we all got home safely and dry.
The 5 little friends stood together. They felt very proud and happy.
Hooray for Roro, Dodo, Kiki, Gogo, and Qiqi! Dodo felt very proud. He looked at his best friends and smiled a big smile. Quack, quack! Quack, quack! Science and teamwork are the best things in the whole world.
Yes, Dodo. When we work together, we can build wonderful things.
After the cheering, it was time to get clean. Dodo jumped into the river.
Roro carefully washed his fluffy white fur until it looked like a cloud again.
I will use my rough tongue. I do not like jumping into cold water.
I think I will stay muddy. The wet mud feels very nice and cool.
Tiny Kiki took a bath in a single drop of water on a green leaf. The 5 friends were clean and happy again. They sat on their big rock. The sun began to set. The sky turned pink, orange, and purple. The calm river reflected the beautiful colors of the sunset. A soft evening breeze blew through the leaves of the giant oak tree. The giant white shells swung slowly in the wind. Clink, clank, clong. It was not a loud alarm anymore. It was a beautiful, peaceful song. From that day on, every time the wind blew hard in the tiny forest, the giant seashell wind chime would ring. Clink, clank, clong. It was a beautiful song that reminded everyone in the woods
Of the 5 smart, chubby, and brave little friends.
who worked together to save the whole tiny forest. And they all lived happily and safely ever after.
Good night, tiny forest. Good night, brave little friends.